I've always loved soup, and I'm excited to show you how to make one of my favorite warm, yet nearly raw, soup recipes. To me, there's nothing quite like ramen, the traditional and wonderfully comforting soup from Japan. In the West, many of us hear the word ramen and think of plastic-wrapped dried noodles with a flavor packet that's mostly MSG. But real ramen is something else entirely. It's a beloved national dish in Japan, where people regularly delight in bowls of chewy noodles floating in savory broth. Now, ramen is usually made from meat broth and wheat noodles, but what I'm going to show you is a lot different and a lot healthier. The first secret to my ramen recipe is raw zucchini noodles. When they're floating in a savory broth, zucchini noodles taste remarkably similar to the wheat noodles in traditional ramen. And my broth gets its flavor from mushrooms, spinach, and miso. These flavors come together to create a taste so savory, you'll wonder why anyone ever used meat. So the first step is to make the noodles. I'm going to begin with a peeled zucchini so that my zucchini resembles the color of traditional wheat noodles. So I'll go ahead and peel the zucchini. And I'll cut it in half. Now, to make the zucchini noodles, I'm going to use this gadget called a spiral slicer. The way it works is I'll take the top off, and then I'll put my zucchini on this little spike. I'll put the top back on, and then using a gentle pressure, I'll rotate the handle. And I'm making pasta. Now when you get to the end, you'll feel it stop resisting you. So then you take the top off. There's always a little bit that remains. We can save that for cream of zucchini soup. And here we have zucchini noodles. That's a lot faster than boiling water and making wheat pasta. So we'll set those to the side and we'll make our broth. Now to make the broth, I'm going to add several vegetables to a pot of water. I'll start by adding baby spinach, next I'll add thinly sliced carrots, next I'll add some sliced mushrooms. Before I slice the mushrooms, I want to show you how to clean a mushroom. I just use a damp paper towel to gently wipe it off. You don't want to run mushrooms under water because they'll get soggy and then they won't absorb the other flavors in the soup. So I'll just wipe that off, and now I can slice it really thin. Now I could vary these vegetables. I could use broccoli, cauliflower, snow peas, bok choy. Those would all be delicious. So the next step is I'm going to go over to the stove and heat these up. I'm just going to bring the mixture to a boil and then turn it off right away and let it sit for 5 minutes. And that's going to just soften the fiber on the outside of the vegetables without cooking them too much. So I put this on the stove and brought it to a boil. And then I turned it off right away and let it sit for 5 minutes. And that was just enough cooking to soften the fiber on the outside of the vegetables, but I didn't really cook it that much. So now I'm ready to season the broth. I'm going to make a paste with some miso and a little bit of water. Miso is a fermented soybean paste. It's high in trace minerals and protein. And it's going to add a wonderful salty flavor to the soup, as well as a deep savory flavor similar to stock or bouillon. And I'm making a paste here with the water just to help it dissolve really easily into the broth. So I'll add the miso paste. I'll also add a little bit of tamari, which is wheat-free soy sauce. I'll add a pinch of salt. And I'll add a little bit of thinly sliced green onion. Now I'm going to put some of this delicious broth into my soup serving bowl. And I'll go ahead and add some of these zucchini noodles. This is so warm, savory, and delicious. It still amazes me that in just 5 minutes, you can make a soup that's so light, healthy, and delicious. If you're looking for a comfort food that's the next best thing to raw, you really couldn't do any better than ramen. Mmm. Mmm. Mmm.